So we're going to talk about what I see, what I do, and we have some studies and data, survey data, basically telling us what we should be watching for patients with cognitive problems. So feel free to chime in if you have any questions. I don't have a lot of slides, maybe 10 slides max, so we can have a chat. Mainly this is for a conversation. So first of all, I wanted to talk about the burden of neurodegenerative diseases, which is like Alzheimer's disease, Parkinson's, and any kind of conditions that goes along with aging. So in the Americas, if you look at the first row, it says that in 2015, there are 9.4 million people with Alzheimer's disease. But by 2050, this number actually is about 4 times more. And the same thing in the world. In 2015, we have 46.8 million, which is about 45 million. But by 2030, this number almost doubles and then doubles again in 2050. So the burden is really high. And surprisingly, every 65 seconds, there's someone in the United States who would develop Alzheimer's disease. Every minute, yeah. So this is a busy slide. I had animations. So basically, on the left side, you'll see that sometimes when people have vision problems, although they already have a diagnosis of Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, whatsoever, and their glasses could be broken. They couldn't see, not because these conditions, brain conditions, causing them not able to see. We just simply need to fix their glasses or change the prescription. That is the easy thing to do. Sometimes they have glaucoma, right? So we need to have glaucoma doctors take a look at their eye pressures and see if the eye drops are working. So these things are important for us to tease out what is some lower hanging fruits so we can actually take care of them quickly. Sometimes we see cataract. If you look at this, this is the eye, and that's the white part of the eye. This is, this is a touch screen, sorry. And then this is the iris. In some people, we have brown irises. In some other people, we have blue irises. But the middle part, which is the white, the opaque part, that is not normal. That is a cataract. It's a very dense cataract that could prevent this person from seeing. So this is not, they cannot see, they're not functioning in the social activities, they're not joining a lot of, home events, not going out with their friends for lunch or anything. They cannot see the menu, not because they have Alzheimer's disease. It's because they just simply cannot see. So this we can take care of with the cataract surgeons. So that is something that's easier for us to make a recommendation. And it's usually a safe and quick surgery. And then the last one on the bottom left is called macular degeneration. Some people will hear dry macular degeneration or wet macular degeneration. Both of them have eye injections to help. But there's unfortunately not a cure for this condition. So what these patients see is that this on the left is a clear picture of 2 kids that just say there's a grandchildren, and what they see is actually the rest of the picture but no face. The central vision is impaired, so it's kind of a facial blindness. It's really a devastating condition because some elderlies come to us really wanted to see the face of their newborn grandbaby, yet they cannot see.
Is that the right slide? Is that the right slide? You said one of the pictures was on.
Yeah, this one actually, it's kind of blurry over here. Yeah, so this one. Yeah, it's not your vision, not your glasses. It's the projection. Over here is actually clear. Yeah. And on the right and over here, and then you can see that this is the what these things can do. It affects people's ability to drive, ability to calculate, to read. On the bottom right, this is a specific type of visual field problem, which is a peripheral vision problem. In this individual, the dark parts of the left one is the left eye, the right one is the right eye. And in this individual, the left eye cannot see the right part. The right eye also cannot see the right part. So this is right-sided visual field loss due to Alzheimer's disease, actually. And also over here, this is a color plate. Usually we have a number on top of a very busy background. for people with cognitive problems, they will have trouble recognizing the number on top of the background. It's like picking out the face among a lot of people. People say face blindness, or they cannot recognize their grandchildren or their children's faces when it's very crowded, like a family gathering. They could not figure out who is who. And then this letter is a big H. It's actually made of lots of small letters of T's. When we see people with cognitive problems, lots of time I'll ask them, what do you see here? What they tell us is, oh, I see a bunch of T's, but I don't know what else you're asking. For a lot of people, they will say, this is a big H made of T's. Then that's the end of the question. It's great, and you got it, right? So that's that. So basically, for me or for our specialty, we see a lot of referrals for people who have vision problems, but the referring eye doctor could not figure it out. They would just say, I'm not comfortable making a diagnosis that this is a brain problem. I want you to help us to figure out what's going on. So we educate them, of course, during our academic meetings and everything. But we also wanted to do this kind of lecture to tell you guys and tell the public that, hey, these could be symptoms of a vision, not a vision problem, but also a brain problem. So we wanted you to actually remind your doctor, hey, do you think this could be that? Yeah. We had a study, which is a survey for a specific type of Alzheimer's disease, which is called posterior cortical atrophy, PCA. So this is a visual variant of Alzheimer's disease. The patient's reports actually showed 98% of the patients with this condition talked about difficulty driving. They cannot see, the brain cannot process the visual input, so they cannot drive. Sometimes they make 3 left turns just to be able to turn right. So that is difficulty driving. And then difficulty with calculation. Sometimes they say, oh, I have 2 cans of tuna and 1 can of peas, and how many cans are there? So they will just be looking around. And so this is sometimes that happens. And the reading is also troublesome, especially when this condition, PCA, this condition causes peripheral vision loss. When we read from left to right, and sometimes the page will be cut off. If you read a story, it's half of a sentence, the other half is not there, then you turn around, it's the next sentence already. So the person who's reading will not be able to understand the full page. Writing and drawing is the same thing, and depth perception is also the brain perceiving if the floor is flat or how many stairs there are. So this is patient report. And on the other hand, the doctor's reporting, mainly on our exam, when we give the patients the color book, we'll say this is 12, a green 12 on top of an orange background, and then the person will have trouble differentiating those two. And also the homonymous hemianoptic visual field loss is the peripheral vision loss that we just showed on the previous slide. This is a study that I did when I was in training. These are the doctors from Colorado and from WashU and from Stanford. So this is also similar concept, higher cortical dysfunction presenting with visual symptoms in neurodegenerative disease. We actually surveyed the doctors. We asked them, when you see a person with visual problems that's presenting as part of a neural problems, what do you get the referral for? The majority actually get the referral for the other referring doctors cannot figure out the cause of the vision problem, or sometimes they wanted a formal diagnosis because they're not comfortable telling you. So if you know someone who sees an eye doctor and then the eye doctor goes around and around and around, they're not really comfortable with saying it, that could be a neurological cause. And so we know that a neuro-ophthalmologist would be able to help. And for the barriers of the doctors who reported why they're not able to make a diagnosis that this vision problem is due to a brain problem that's referred to a brain doctor, is because most of them, they don't have a lot of time to explain, and they don't have the actually the right tools to make the diagnosis. Some of them don't even have a color plate. And then also the difficulty of referring to neuropsychology or even neurology evaluation is pretty big. And you probably heard somebody saying that, I need to see a neurologist, but my next appointment is in 3 months. So from our survey, it actually showed that half or maybe 2/3 of the vision complaints that came to us to neuro-ophthalmology is due to a non-brain problem. So we can't actually tell them, we need to treat your cataract, we need to treat your glaucoma, we need to treat your glasses, or sometimes it's a cornea, the front of the eye that's not smooth, astigmatism. We need to treat those, and then you can see it's not because you have a brain problem, which is actually better, way better news. And so we actually go to the community, we talk to the community doctors and the patients and all the family members and everybody. We tell them that if you have a vision problem, let's go see an eye doctor. Sometimes it's really not that serious. Although, this person could have, like my family member, like my grandma, could have Alzheimer's disease, but she could also have a retinal detachment because she's really nearsighted and she cannot see, because it's not because her Alzheimer's disease is progressing, it's getting worse. It's because she's got a retinal detachment. We reattach the retina, she can see again. So this is actually the data is blocked after this image. So this data basically showed that among 250 participants, and then there was this study that's done, if somebody has a cataract that's impairing their vision, and the doctor has determined that this cataract is so severe that they need to be treated, regardless of the cognitive status, if we treat this cataract, we could lower the incidence of dementia or any kind of Alzheimer's disease-related dementia, because if the person cannot see, and then they will naturally withdraw from social activities or family activities, right? A person who used to water the plants or cook something or do some cleaning and basically do some home-based activities or go out to play pickleball, now because their vision is not very good, so they stopped cooking, stopped gardening, and stopped going out with friends. So it feels like, oh, this person is not understanding anything and not participating, but it's not. It's just they need to have their cataracts taken care of. You have a question?
So what actually is cataract?
The cataract is actually the, let's go back. So it's this picture. This the center of the vision that's supposed to be dark and clear. But this is the internal lens inside the eyes. And with aging, this lens gets hazy. It gets a little yellower over time. And at some point, it turns to be kind of white. So the light will not be able to go inside the eyes and not be able to go inside the brain. It's a small surgery, easy to treat.
That's enough to say that you have Alzheimer's?
So basically, if we treat the cataract, and if we make the person see better, and it will decrease the risk for Alzheimer's. I know I've had patients who are very scared of surgeries, especially eye surgeries, especially after the cataract surgeons talked about the complications. But this individual was an engineer before, and then now he's not able to drive to pick up the grandchildren, and then he's not interacting with them and not teasing them about their homework, because he was very good at math. And then the grandchildren's homework, he used to tease them. He stopped doing that. And he sits in the corner, just eats the dinner, and then not really interacting with anything. Plus, he's got a hearing problem. So he's not hearing, he's not seeing, so he's withdrawing. And the family thought he's got dementia. But once we gave him hearing aids, we gave him a new set of lens implant, and he's back to normal again. Yeah.
I was going to say, I've had a cataract in my left eye. I had it removed. It grew slowly, and I found myself in the supermarket doing this from each aisle, and I was having whiplash trying to figure out this groceries, because they have so many on different things.
Yeah.
It was very, very upsetting, and I went back to the eye doctor, and he assessed it, and it was removed, and it was painless. It was the easiest thing I've ever experienced, and the vision was like a light bulb went on. It was wonderful.
Wow, that's
Awesome.
great.
And no pain, nothing, no discomfort, no big prep prior to the surgery. It just went very smoothly, and everything was fine.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah. So that's why lots of times we tell people we need to treat your cataract to prevent any kind of neurological issues. Is not to treat anything. Oh, there is a question online. After my cataract surgery, the lens appearing cloudy and the vision became blurred. Laser, yes. So sometimes we say that as a secondary cataract. So basically, we remove the core of the lens and put an implant, but the actual capsule where the lens sits in is the old capsule. It can continue to get cloudier and cloudier over time. So this is when we say secondary cataract. We do laser, and then we clean that up again. Yeah.
Sometimes the doctors can't figure out what the problem is, so they take about 8 months to figure it out.
Yeah.
And then if a doctor comes in and tells them what's wrong, and they can fix whatever it is. For me, it was because I was allergic to everything when I was young.
Mm-hmm.
And I eventually grew out of most of those allergies.
Oh, that's good. Yeah. Yeah.
Anyway, they found if you cut away your hair, it will help.
Yeah, lots of times with visual symptoms, it's just very hard to figure out from somebody who is not equipped with this knowledge. But if we talk about this often enough, right? And so we're aware, and then the doctors are more aware, so then we can figure something out together. And sometimes there are diagnoses that we make, and we cannot change the outcome. But if the more we make the diagnosis, the more we make awareness among the stakeholders. So then we get funding to study this and eventually find a cure. So the first step is making the diagnosis, figuring out what the problem is, and then we figure out how to solve the problem. It turned after a while. Oh, I think this person is asking if the cloudiness returned after a while. After the laser, there could be a little bit like floaters and maybe flashes of lights in the next few weeks, but it shouldn't come back again. So after the lens implant, and we'll fix the capsule, and then it should be just open. There should not be any problems. I think this is my last slide. Basically, we see lots of people with visual symptoms that's from a neurological issue, and lots of them came to us because the eyes are fine. You'll hear people saying that, oh, I have this problem, but my eye doctor kept on saying that your eyes are fine, but why can I not see? Why am I having all this trouble? And then the most common causes from the doctor's report for not able to make a good diagnosis is lack of time, lack of resource, and lack of knowledge themselves. We wanted to conduct a bigger study to check for the common symptoms, the color vision problems, the unexplained vision loss, and the peripheral vision problems, sometimes the depth perception problem. We wanted to have a bigger study. And we have a basically a proposal under review, which is that we're using a pair of virtual reality goggles. We put them on, so in 15 minutes, we can check the vision and check the actually the pupils and see if people will have a refractive error, meaning that if glasses can help, if you need cataract surgery. And we can also look at the peripheral vision because some people might have glaucoma. They end up going to the doctor every 3 to 6 months and do the visual field testing. It's a very boring testing. But this VR goggles, and we can check them actually over here at the community centers or senior living facilities. And we also go to the library. That study has not been approved just yet, so we wanted to have the approval before I bring things out to show people.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Is it possible to have the wet macular degeneration and a cataract in the same eye?
Yes.
Is there anything that can be done? I know that not with the macular degeneration, but would they still do something about that cataract?
Yeah.
They
so
will.
The cataract is part of the front of the eye, and the macular degeneration is the back of the eye. So let's say if you have a car, the engine's not working properly, you have a check engine light on, let's say the gas valve the cap is loose, and also the windshield is cracked. Yeah. And we still need to fix the windshield, right? Okay. Yeah, and then while we figure out how to turn off the check engine light. Yeah.
Cataract in both eyes.
Yeah.
But I also have wet macular degeneration in the left. And the only thing that my retinal specialist is talking about is the cataract in the right eye. So maybe I should kind of push him a little bit and say, let's look at the left eye also.
So sometimes, the macular degeneration is so severe that it's going to affect vision significantly. And now we have to balance whether we need to fix this cataract, right? If the cataract is changing, doing the cataract surgery may or may not even change the final outcome. So they probably wouldn't put you through a surgery. So we have to balance the benefits and risks of each procedure. Yeah, so I don't know the exact details of the macular degeneration.
The only reason I ask is that with the macular degeneration, I know, it's like that black spot in the middle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, when I look around, I can see where it changes. There's the black spot, and then there's like a wavy area, and then there's a clear area.
Yes, that's exactly how it is. Yeah.
Okay, so that's why I was wondering, but when I got my new glasses, this side over here interferes with the vision on the right side. So if I look like this, if I look over this way, it's clear. If I bring it back together, then I get that interference. So sometimes I'll just close this eye, and it's really clear.
Yeah, so you're using the right eye, the good eye to see, yeah. And then that is actually exactly how things are. But that picture that we were showing, the macular degeneration, the peripheral vision is actually quite clear. So you can see that this balloon showing, the peripheral vision showing, it's just the center. If you move around, sometimes you could see something, yeah.
And from a distance, it
Yeah.
doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
It's when it's up close
Yeah.
in someone's face, if I close the one eye,
Yeah,
then I don't do it. But because I have one eye that I guess, even though it has a cataract, is good,
yeah.
I can still see your full face. It's only if I close that eye
Yeah,
that,
so the center of the vision
the
is
center
blocked.
is gone.
That's exactly, yeah.
Okay.
I think if you have wet macular degeneration, lots of times people can suggest injections.
I've had those.
Yeah.
But it's stable right now.
Yeah,
For
it's
the
good.
past 3 years,
Yeah.
I haven't had to. I keep going to the retinal consultants, and they say, no, it hasn't changed.
Yeah, they're a very reputable group, actually.
Okay.
That's great, yeah.
Yeah, Dr. Equi, he's good.
Yeah.
So would you say that the cataract starts when the eye starts closing down? Well, my eye closes down at night. My right eye.
You said eyelid.
I get
close?
up in the morning and I can't see from one eye. Is that a start of, what do you call it?
Cataract?
Cataract?
Cataract, are you talking about the eyelids droopy? Or,
I don't know if that's the cause. I'm going to see the doctor today.
oh, okay,
Find
today.
out. Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
asking if your eyes are open.
Yeah, my eyes are open, but there's a cloud there.
Ah, okay. Does the cloud move with your eyes moving?
No, it's just there.
Okay.
But then it goes away. It sort of clears during the day. But
Oh.
then I go back to sleep, and in the morning, it's closed again.
It's closed again. What's closed?
Yeah.
The vision is cloudy again.
No, it's closed. I can't see. So I wash my face with so much water, and then there's still there's something there.
Yeah, so
But I
maybe,
can see, but I'm not the full. I mean to say, there's a cloud there.
yeah, it could be something in the front of the eye, like dryness or anything, or it could be the cataract. So the doctor might have to dilate the pupils.
That's not cataract.
Oh, I cannot see it without the slit
okay.
lamp. So somebody will have to
Okay.
take a better look and dilate the eye and
I
see if
see,
it's
okay.
a cataract. Sometimes it's just simply dry eyes.
Thank
and-
you.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, oh, this thing's moving.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Earlier in your speech, did you mention something about Parkinson related to Alzheimer or Alzheimer related to Parkinson's disease?
So technically, these are two different neurodegenerative disorders, but they both can present with visual symptoms. Parkinson's, lots of people will have really severe dryness because they have the masked faces. The face, they don't blink enough. Right? They stare. When you see people who just talk to you and the 2 minutes you've been talking and they have never blinked, so that might be the beginning of Parkinson's. Or sometimes you see the tremors of the hands, or sometimes you see how they walk. So that's the Parkinson's. Because the fact that they don't blink, so the surface of the eyes get dry. They have severe dry eye problems, so we give them a regimen to work on. And then the second thing that happens to Parkinson's disease is that the eye movement can be impaired too. Sometimes when people move their eyes, instead of moving them smoothly, they move them like this. So when they perceive a picture, they see pieces of them, and then they stop and wait, and then when the brain processes to actually have the big picture. So things are slower on their end. And also, from target to target, let's say playing tennis, playing pickleball, you have to be able to see the ball here and then move around with the ball, but their eyes can be like overshooting on the target. If let's say they wanted to look at the pickleball and the ball, and then they will go like over and, oh, the ball is here. So then that will, that split second will impair the ability to do this kind of activity. Even at home, like they look at the cabinets and then things are not quite right. So that is something that people can present common in Parkinson's disease. And we also have studies with reading and their reading speed, and you can see them when they read that they just read like this instead of reading smoothly. So, yeah. Anything else?
Sometimes it takes the doctors time to make the right choice.
Yeah. Yeah, sometimes it takes the doctor a lot of time to make a diagnosis first. And then sometimes this is something we do, right? We do diagnostic trials. So we give you a medicine to see if our hypothesis is right. Let's say we suspect a brain condition or an eye condition, but this person cannot do the necessary imaging that we wanted them to do. For instance, somebody has an older version of a pacemaker, and they cannot go into the MRI. We wanted that MRI to make a diagnosis, but this person cannot do it. So what do? We started medicine trying to treat the condition we're suspecting. Sometimes we were right, sometimes we were wrong. Like you said, each trial takes a couple months for something to work. Yeah.
Excuse me.
Yeah.
Do you have any information on stroke victims as far as how it affects their vision?
A stroke, yes. We have lots of things that we can take care of for a person with stroke. And depending on what the stroke is, right? Especially from the eye standpoint, if the stroke happens with the eye closing or eye opening part of the brain, which sometimes people say, oh, the face is asymmetrical facial droopiness, then we wanted to make sure that the eyelid is able to close. If they're not, then the eyes get dry when we sleep. Sometimes the stroke happens in an area where we see, so they lose vision in one eye or sometimes both. Sometimes the stroke happens in the visual processing. When they have a stroke, they can see, but they cannot process what they are seeing. Let's say they're slower in response. They couldn't figure out how to use a credit card anymore. They of course, couldn't drive and couldn't take care of themselves. So this is the stroke victims in the vision and visual processing. Sometimes they have the same kind of peripheral vision loss. Both eyes cannot see one side. We need to know that if they're safe walking at home, because when they look through a door, they're missing part of the door jamb. They're not able to see it, so they might walk into it. So lots of issues in terms of vision, visual processing.
Do patients, when they have a stroke on one side of the brain, does that affect the other? Does that affect their vision also automatically?
In general, the left side of the brain controls the right side of the vision in both eyes.
Oh.
So it's not the left side of the vision only controls the right eye. The left side of the brain controls, if we have two circles in front of us, left side of the vision, right eye to the right side, left eye to the right side. And the other, if the stroke happens on the right side of the brain, then the left side of the peripheral vision of both eyes is affected. So that's why they really, truly cannot perceive anything on the left side.
And it's very difficult for them to read.
Exactly. It doesn't matter you read from left to right to left, top to bottom. It's just difficult. So we have done a study on a device helping people to read. It's just simply to read, and it can't help people with reading road signs. It can't help people with something far away. So we have heard that, oh, it's great reading, and then this device actually takes a picture and then reads for this person. You don't have to hold on to it. It just reads, and you can tell them, skip to the next paragraph for papers or for something, or for a letter that comes through the mail. It says, you're delinquent and paying the bills, something like that. We don't want it to miss that.
Right.
It creates a lot of anxiety in that sense. But this device has the limitations. It doesn't help people with distance. Let's say if you go to a mall, you go out for something. Yes, you can read the menu in a restaurant, even in dim light setting. But when you go to the bathroom, you couldn't figure out this is ladies or the gents, and then you have to go really close, and then that's kind of awkward.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Is there a cure to cataract?
Hmm?
Is there a cure to cataract?
Yeah, surgery. Yeah, so it's a simple surgery. If you have a good doctor, it's going to be like 10, 15 minutes. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. Yeah, like she said. Yeah. Maybe if you have a cataract, ask her who her doctor was. Yeah.
Okay.
Word to mouth. Yes.
You did.
Yeah. I think that gentleman has a question.
I went to UC Davis doing everything because can't remember things. Then I had a cataract. I went to a doctor because I used to drive truck, and I always come with hit the sun. I'd get sunglasses and everything didn't work. So I went to the doctor. She told me I had cataract. So she told me to go see a specialist. So I went to the specialist, and he took me a couple of machines. It was the cover like this, and you have to look at it in about 5 minutes. Then you go on this one. My eyes are getting better now because I went to a specialist. That's all I'm saying. He had everything. He told me everything, and I see him every year for the last 5 years. So I just came here just to see if you guys do the same thing. My specialist in UC Davis, it's just about the same thing. So
Yeah.
you guys doing a good job. Keep it up. Thank you.
I got one more question.
Yes.
With my eyes being the way they are,
Yeah.
with the macular degeneration
Yeah.
and the cataracts in the back, like you were saying, my peripheral vision is clear compared to what's going in.
Yeah.
Is there any way I can talk to my optometrist and let him know he has to do something special to make this prescription stronger so that it doesn't interfere with my seeing?
You can give it a try. Yeah, optometrist who does glasses. The retina specialist, I don't know how many of them actually would do cataract surgeries themselves because it's a different part of the eye.
Oh, I
than
was
the
just
back
talking
end.
about
Yeah.
the glasses.
The glasses?
Because my
Yeah.
cataract surgery isn't, well, the measurements for it isn't until August,
Okay.
But I was going to get another pair of glasses just to make it easier to see. I do a lot of crossword puzzles, and they're fine. But I got one kind of good eye,
Yeah.
the
you
one
can
that's
give
going to
it a-
have the surgery.
I mean, so you are planning to get the surgery in the right
Yeah.
eye.
But
After
only on the
in the
right
right
eye.
eye.
And that's why I'm wondering about this one, the left eye.
I mean, after cataract surgery, your prescription will change. So basically, we calculate the cataract prescription into your implant, so your glasses prescription will change after cataract surgery. It's for sure in the right eye. So the left eye, if you want to wait or if you want to do another one, you can. I guess you could change just the lens of the left eye if you would change anything.
Yeah, but I don't know how they're going to measure, because it doesn't seem like they measure that, because it's like a roadblock to seeing better out of that eye. Do you know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
there. I know it's clear because if I look up, I can
Yeah.
see, But if I look straight on, it's a problem in the middle.
Right. So the glasses, unfortunately, can't change the dark.
Right,
middle.
right.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. The part that's clear,
Yeah.
if I look up, then I can see,
Yeah.
down here really fine. You know how they say, okay, how many fingers?
So
Well,
you
in
cannot
a
see the
darkened
middle.
room,
You can see-
a
yeah.
darkened room, if it's
Yeah.
right here,
Yeah.
I'm not seeing it.
Right.
In a light room, I'm seeing because I'm looking with both eyes. But
Yeah.
in a darkened room, I can see part of my hand, but not the fingertips.
Yeah.
But if I look up, I can see those fingertips
Yeah.
because this part of my eye is clear.
Yeah. So you wanted the left eye to not interfere with the right eye.
And I want the left eye to be stronger in the area where it's clear. So that's why I'm saying, is there some way for me to get a better prescription? If
Yeah.
I don't get cataract surgery, let them know, hey, this side needs to be clearer.
Yeah.
Do they need something special, or?
No, it's just the same thing. The phoropter they put
Okay.
in front of your eyes for a glasses check. Yeah. So they
Okay.
can actually demonstrate the new prescription in the office. You'll see if it's worth it. Because
Okay.
sometimes changing the glasses is $600, $800.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
When you put a patch over the bad eye,
Yeah.
the right on the other eye will become better, and eventually you will see better. I used to see out of my left eye a lot, but now my left eye's bad, so my right eye, eye is better.
Yeah, this is especially true for younger children before 8 years of age. When we're developing, until age 8, our brain will finally recognize, okay, so there are two eyes. We need to use them together to judge the depth and everything. So before age 8, if the person has one good eye and one bad eye, we tend to try to block the vision in the good eye to strengthen the bad eye. So this is part of the treatment of amblyopia. For adults, if this person, regardless of what we do, end up having one good eye and one bad eye, the brain tends to pick the good eye to see. But when something happens to the good eye, then the bad eye can pick up. Yeah. Yeah, and if you have one eye that's seeing blurry, the other eye is seeing clear, the blurred eye is really interfering with your vision. Sometimes we even put, like a patch over the blurry eye so we can actually see a clear view. Sometimes we put even a type of contact lenses. It's completely dark, and it actually matches the eye color. So we put it on. This eye is not seeing anything. We're only using the other eye to see. The simple way to see if you can get used to it is Scotch tape, right? You can tape one lens, not tape the eyeball, tape the lens. It's the same thing. And you see people with it's Scotch tape on their eyes. Sometimes it's because the eye is so bad it's interfering in their vision. Sometimes it's because they have double vision. They just kind of patch the weaker eye. So we see one image clearly. Yeah. Yeah.
So I have another question.
Yeah.
How strong is an eye disease cause Alzheimer's? How strong is it?
I wouldn't say the eye disease would cause Alzheimer's disease, but if the eye is not able to see well enough for this person to do the normal daily activity, depends on what that is, right? Some people really do crossword puzzles a lot. That needs probably 20/40 or better vision. Sometimes it just needs to do gardening and a little cooking that maybe 2100, 2200 vision should work. If the eye problem is so severe that is affecting this person's daily activity, that withdrawal could make cognitive decline faster because you're not using your cognition. It's part of the cognitive rehab. Yeah?
That's terrible.
It is terrible. That's why we're talking about it. Right? We're ready to talk about it. So I'm so thankful people are here to be so open to talk about this because it's a hard topic.
Well, I have a question. I've had cataract surgery, and I have double vision, so I have a prism in my glasses.
Okay.
But one eye is better than the other eye. So would that help if I closed off my good eye? Would the other one still get stronger?
So we're after age 8, so it might be difficult.
So it's kind of late, huh?
Yeah, well, just a little, But if you have double vision, we try our very best, prism glasses and whatsoever, or eye surgery, muscle surgery, to make you use both eyes. Because with both eyes open together, we have way better depth
and mine's good.
perception.
My prism's good, yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Because if we close one eye, if you try to close one eye and then touch something, it's really difficult to touch it right. Like if you close one eye to put the toothpaste on the toothbrush, it's really difficult. You just miss. Well, I miss too. That's why if people have double vision, we really wanted to do whatever.
Like putting a thread through a needle.
Nice. If you can, the prism is really working.
Excuse me, I know when I park my car
Yeah.
and I'm pulling in, parallel parking is no problem, but when you have to pull into a parking space and it has the pole in the middle,
Yeah.
I always have to get out and look because I'm so far away trying to be careful not to bump into it. So depth perception is real important.
Yeah, exactly. Well, some people, they just don't know how to park, even with good vision. That's a different topic, right? Yeah. But that's why when we have the new cars, I think by whatever time in the United States, all the cars will be required to have the backup camera and then the sensors. So that could help a little
It's just
bit.
in the front. It's
Yeah.
it's a front thing.
Yeah.
You know.
The front depth, especially
Yeah.
okay, in the highway, do I pull closer to this car? Yeah, so it can be scary.
Yeah.
So sometimes,
I'm not afraid to get out, though. I get out and I look.
Yeah. You know,
Bothers people on the street, though, because they think, oh, she's going to unpark. And then they see me get out of the car and they get upset.
Oh, yeah. They're like, she's not leaving.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally hear that. Yeah.
Thank you.
With the backup cameras, being mandatory in all the cars, sometimes I tell the patients, if you really wanted to avoid the social awkwardness, back your car in, right? Because you have the camera to help you. So people won't be like, I thought you were leaving. Yeah.
We had a question on the chat.
Oh. sorry, I forgot to look at the chat.
You mentioned prism glasses. What is it and can we buy it?
Did you mention prism? What is it? This needs to be, so the prism glasses, that has to be a prescription, and we usually demonstrate how much of a prism glasses that we would recommend in the office. Then we either put a sticker on and give you a prescription, or sometimes, we have different ways to tell how, it's like a glasses prescription, yeah.
So you would say that the eye vision is one of the actual things that causes Alzheimer?
The eye vision, I'm sorry?
The vision,
Uh-huh.
is it one of the things that causes Alzheimer's? Or are there other things that causes?
It's related to Alzheimer's, but I don't think it's causing Alzheimer's.
It causes it. Oh,
The
no.
Alzheimer's disease, now we're studying it. We know it's like the amyloid, the tau, and you see that on TV a lot. Sometimes they say it's neuroinflammation, it's whatever cytokines, chemokines. But the eye is actually a very good window to the brain. When people have Alzheimer's disease, now what we are studying is that using the eye scan to see the brain changes. There's a layer inside the eye, which is called the neuronal layer of the eye in the retina. Our technology now is so advanced that we could measure the thickness of it.
Oh, okay.
If Alzheimer's disease is caused by or linked to brain atrophy, then the eye retinal atrophy can be part of that too. So where we're studying the link.
Well,
Yeah.
okay.
If we can find a marker that we bring somebody into the office and say, would you please sit here for like 10 minutes, and then we'll scan your eyes and we can tell you whether you have early signs of Alzheimer's disease. Some people might be up for it. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, that's the future. Yeah.
Excuse me, could you reiterate which side of the brain controls the eyes again?
So the brain
During
controls
a stroke, I mean.
Yeah,
Excuse me.
so left side, right side, right side. So basically, left side of the brain controls the right side of the peripheral vision.
Right.
And the right side of the brain, the left side of the peripheral vision. And it's the same thing as the body.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, well, thank you, everybody. Yeah. Yeah. If you guys have some feedback or suggested topics, let us know. Maybe Sean and I, we can work together. We can have another session and chat about something else. Yeah. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you guys for coming. And thank you, the staff, for setting this up.